Welcome to the Breakthrough to Your Best Success online event. Join your host, Elizabeth Hamilton-Guarino, and the contributors from the Success Guidebook and other special guests to visualize, actualize, and amplify you and your best success. This conference will help you redefine success, transform your goals, embrace change, design and realize your best life, and much more.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Breakthrough to Your Best Success Conference. With me is former Ambassador Lisa Gable. She's also a CEO and a Wall Street Journal and USA Today best-selling author. Lisa, thank you for being with us.
Well, thanks for having me.
So let's get started and talk about, success in all of its various formats and everything. The Success Guidebook seeks to redefine success and examine success in a new and redefined way. So how has your perspective and pursuit of success evolved through your life?
When I was younger, I knew I had to check certain boxes, and that was truly the focus of all of my endeavors. What boxes do I have to check? How is the game played? Where do I need to show credibility, credentials, and success? However, as you get older, one of the things that you focus on is success is really the impact you have on others around you and how you help others in their journey in life.
So Lisa, how has the notion of success guided you in making big business and life decisions?
I really studied other people's resumes. I had the opportunity to look at work at presidential personnel during the Reagan administration, and so I saw thousands of resumes. And in fact, one of the things I tell young people to do today is look at LinkedIn and see where there are people that you find to be successful or that are living the lives you want to live, and see what they've done. And what you learn through that process is that there is no straight path to success. There really isn't. In my life, I zigged and zagged, in large part because I had a spouse who was sick at different points in times with cancer and autoimmune diseases. So I had to zig and zag. I had to redefine what success meant for my career throughout every step of my journey.
So tell me all about your book and how it ties into success as well, because it's a great book and it's award-winning and best-selling. I think it's, how many awards is that one?
It's won five or six, I think.
Congratulations. So tell us all about it.
The book Turnaround is the story of turnarounds that I've done in business, government, and philanthropy. I took the processes that I learned at Intel Corporation and I really applied them to solving complex problems. It shows you a 4-step process by which you can turn around a situation. You want to visualize the future. You want to know what it is that you want the world to look like. And then you go back and you audit the past. You figure out what went wrong and what went right. And that leads you to another step, which is ranking and rating. And what ranking and rating allows you to do is get rid of the things that you don't need to do anymore, the things that aren't going to get you to that perfect world scenario, and develop your path to the future, focusing on the things that you will be doing, the things that are most likely to enable you to design the world that you want it to be and reach the goals of the customers that you are there to serve. And most importantly, you run really, really fast, because if you've gone through this process, it allows you to achieve success, achieve your perfect vision, and do so while understanding the viewpoints of others and the impact that each of your steps have on other people. And I want to stress how successful that is in allowing you to not only meet business goals and financial goals, but it also enables you to bring people along in the journey, because for me, success is a team sport.
Sometimes we miss our goals and don't achieve the level of success we hope for. Can you remember a time when you had to persevere through something like this or this type of disappointment? And how does disappointment factor into success?
I absolutely do remember that point in time, and it was around the 2016 timeframe. I had just finished a successful turnaround, and I'd been recruited by a Fortune 500 company. And at the same time, I'd been offered another job, a job that had a great deal of prestige aligned to it in Washington, D.C. But I had financial goals and I was looking at what my long-term interests were. And I made a decision to go with the large corporation. I had in my mind that I had to check a certain box in order to get to where I wanted to be. And unfortunately, that situation didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to. The job wasn't what I was expecting when I was walking in the door. Promises that had been made didn't exist within the construct of the finances, as well as the people that I would have at my disposal in order to execute the job. So we pulled up short on the job, made a mutual agreement that this is not what I signed up for. But unfortunately, that prestigious job in Washington had disappeared. All of a sudden, here I was late in my career, having made a decision and having made what I saw as the wrong decision. However, what's interesting about that is I was approached by different friends to help start up some other projects. And one of those was helping women run for office. And I really dove into it. And it has been interesting for me to see where God has a perfect plan for our lives. We may not understand what it is, but if I hadn't had that kink in going after the quote unquote perfect job, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to really invest in others through the opportunities that I took advantage of after that point in time.
Go back and tell me about a woman who changed your life and career to help you be who you are today, and how important that is in part of your own infrastructure and how you operate today.
I was very fortunate to meet a woman by the name of Barbara Barrett, who would later become the Secretary of the Air Force and a U.S. ambassador at a different point in time in her career. But I met Barbara when she was in her 30s and I was in my early 20s. I had recruited her for a job in the Reagan administration, and we had an opportunity to speak. And she was kind enough to take me out to dinner and mentor me as I was trying to figure out what I would do after Ronald Reagan. And in fact, she helped me meet her husband, who would later become the chairman and CEO of Intel Corporation, which is where I went to work after the White House. But what's interesting about Barbara is that when my husband got sick, I remember calling her and saying, I've been, following every pattern. I've moved up the chain. I've done all the things I was supposed to do. And I have a family matter that I can't do anything about. I can't work full time right now. And so what she did is she arranged for me to go on boards as she was leaving boards. And so she went on to a corporate board that was a nonprofit corporation, and she helped me get onto that board. She had been on the board of a business school. She helped me open the doors to being on that particular board, in addition to a commission with the Secretary of Defense. Having her take the time and invest the time to replace herself on different boards with me enabled me to maintain a level of credentials and visibility that I would not have had if I had left my job and been focused solely on the family issue that we were dealing with at the time.
How do we as women best support each other in business?
I didn't just do this so that I, Lisa Gable, would be successful. I came into business and government and philanthropy in the 80s. There weren't a lot of women walking the halls of the C-suite at that point in time. I saw my mission as not only accomplishing things for me, but I wanted to open doors for the women who went after me. And that's how you have to view it. We're in this together. Your legacy in life will be the moment at which you pass away and people stand there and say what you did for them and the doors that you opened for them. They will not talk about your career success. Instead, I have a sneaky feeling that they will be talking about how you changed the world for other women.
Amen. Okay. The most, yeah, so totally agree. I see that with you so much. I'm so grateful for you all the time. The most elusive aspect of finding success is the ability to have it encompass all aspects of our lives. How do you approach success as a multifaceted goal?
One thing I've realized as I've gotten older is that life never goes along the perfect path and the perfect plan that we outline. God has other plans, and you never will understand or realize the implications of the barriers placed in your way and the process by which you overcame them and what may have happened, that ripple effect that may have occurred and would have never actually had a positive impact unless you had to go through barriers. He never said life would be easy. It's not easy. But the way in which you react to success and failure, that defines who you are. And what you have to do is trust the fact that there is a plan. You may not end up being the person who rises to the top of the peak in that plan, but because of actions that you took, someone else may be that person at that point in time in history that makes a difference, that creates a much better world.
How does authenticity and integrity factor into success and maintaining it?
You need to be honest. You need to be honest about your own intentions. I've been told I'm very direct. In fact, by bosses, I was told that I was too direct. But part of it is I never thought I needed to cloak what I was doing. I'm doing something for a reason. I'm clearly outlining why I'm doing that thing. And if directness bothers you, then perhaps transparency bothers you. But the reality is, people need to know what you're doing. They don't like people who play games. They don't like people who are only out for themselves. Nothing bothers people more than if they feel as if they've been used. And so I see all of those characteristics as being characteristics which define transparency and which help actually someone build a much stronger relationships with those with whom they work.
What part of success has happened for you that you didn't see coming at all?
Sometimes I got jobs and I hated the job for the first 6 months. As I mentioned, I always got brought into a situation that was a turnaround. And I will fully confess to the fact that I have sat on the floor of my closet crying, going, I do not want to do this. I do not want to go into work. Or I've had people calling me from very high levels, CEOs of major companies, who've been very angry about something I did or a decision I made that they saw as impacting their company negatively. The reality is you got to toughen up. I mean, you just have to. One of the things that you learn as you get older is what you need to let flow over your back. And I think one of the things that I've done as I've gotten older is that I have allowed myself to not absorb the negativity, in knowing if I am on the right path and that I'm doing it for the right reasons and that I have quantitative goals which must be met in order to turn around a situation, that if I am diplomatic, if I am honest, if I give people information along the way, they may not be happy with me at the beginning, but what has always occurred is at the end, I end up getting the accolades. But they are not the types of accolades that, oh, I stand on stage and someone hands me a big award. The accolades for me are when people stand on stage with me and say, we did this together. We accomplished this objective together. This project was so important to my life. And that's really what you have to recognize is that you, one, can't let everything bother you. Secondarily, people will say things in the moment and it's not that important. The reality is stay on track, keep your integrity, and just keep moving forward in a manner that's credible and demonstrates that you're hearing people and you're incorporating their thoughts into your process.
When you're collaborating with other people, working with other people, mentoring other people, especially young people, what is it that you want young people to learn? What are some clues, breadcrumbs to your success and so forth that young people can pick up that they might be missing?
My parents always taught me not to be so hard on myself. I was very, very hard on myself. I was. And so if I didn't get the A, if I didn't get the job, if I didn't get something that I thought I had to do, then I beat myself up. And I think that's the learning that my parents recognized would be one that would come with maturity. As you get older, you realize that there are a lot of factors in the world that have nothing to do with you that will cause you to not be able to do the thing that you think you want to do. But again, there's an element of faith, inevitability, and a remembrance that it's really based on your character. And character for me is being a good partner for others, collaborating with others, and ensuring that together we can achieve an objective in a manner that works for everybody.